Welcome. I'd just like to say about MGTOW is that men going their own way. It is not a movement, it's a philosophy, it's an ideology, it's just, I've been MGTOW way before it was ever called MGTOW. And the reason for me is that I don't really need any interaction with women to get through my day. Anytime I have had any real interaction with women or anything, it's usually always turned out trouble and drama, and I get waylaid what I was supposed to be doing. So yeah, I just don't need them. So I don't hate them, I just don't need them. They obviously think they're needed, but I don't need them. And I think that's what people in MGTOW, men in MGTOW, have found out, that they want to get on with their life to do things, and every time they meet up with a woman and that, everything gets sort of waylaid. Anyway, what we're talking about at the moment is what happens when a woman's eggs dry up. And they will. A woman only ever has a certain amount of eggs, and when they're done, they're done. Right? And a woman walks around, and especially in a Western woman, walks around as if they're absolutely the most fantastic thing in the world. You can tell by the way they're walking that they think they are great. Right? And the childbearing, they have babies. I mean, it's quite an important thing, of course. But what they don't fail to realize is that if there was no man around, they're just a barren vessel. Right? But anyway, let's see what would happen when they were in their tribes, way back in time. And no, not those type of tribes. But anyway, so let's assume that the woman is just coming up to, childbearing. She's very young, not that young, but she's very young, probably quite attractive. And the males may have to have fights or something in the tribe to be able to mate with this female and have children. So yeah, she would be reasonably important at that time. Fast forward quite a few years with her, and she starts to lose her looks. Things start to sag. Her eggs are starting to run out. So yeah, her importance is, well, as soon as her eggs run out, her importance in the tribe would go down. They would have to, right? So then what? Does she realize that her importance has gone down? I'm sure she would have done in those days. And now she would probably be good and useful for looking after the other children, in the creche of something. And that would be probably her job. And of course, her food cooking skills would probably be honed by then as well. So that would be another valuable thing. But you can't just run out of eggs and you're the most important thing there because you can have babies, and then you can't have babies anymore, and you still think you're the most important thing there. That's not gonna happen, right? But let's fast forward in the modern age, and we have women who have eggs as they did then, and they are childbearing and all that. So they're classed as fairly important, not as important as women think they are, but they're important. And then their eggs run out. What happens to women in the modern age now? Do they lose their value at all? And to the woman, I can see that they don't think they lose any value whatsoever. They still think they're the most important things on the planet, right? Even though they got no eggs, they can't have any children, so what's their value? Their value has gone down and they don't realize it, basically. It's the same as these women who get old and everything else, and they just put more makeup on and they go out and they still think they got it. They haven't got it. It's gone. And I'm sorry to say that with women, it goes a lot quicker than it does with men. And that's just the way it is, and it really does cheese them off, but that is a fact, okay? So what do you people think out there? Do you think a woman is just as valuable without her eggs as she is with them? I don't know. In my book, I would say no. They're not as important, obviously. They're not as important and as valued as they would be with their eggs. And women should realize that and be useful in other areas, but they're not. They usually just go, well, I've got a vagina, so therefore, that's it. But anyway, what do you people think out there?